Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where we go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your hot lineup decisions. Now, last episode was a pretty controversial one. It was after they made all of the changes with the launch of Season 3 and the XP path and everything that came with that. I gotta be honest with you. Everyone that complained on Reddit or social media, the forums, Facebook, congrats, because you got them to walk back those changes. You expressed your distaste for the separation and the nerfing of squad battles, essentially. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen them do anything like this before. If you haven't watched my video on the content on Friday, they legitimately tweeted out that they were like sorry about that. And the content team, I haven't seen them do that once, and I think that was legitimately higher ups or their team as a whole being like, yo, this isn't going to fly. And gotta say, well done. So today's video, we'll be going through a lot of those comments, obviously, but we'll get back to, the lineup questions, and we'll touch on Team of the Year. I feel like Team of the Year questions are going to be pretty popular over the next 2 weeks, especially because the NHL 2000 event was set up to fail, in my opinion, with the Gallery of Greats event offering free APs, and then obviously this one not. I knew that this one was going to be set up to fail, and that's kind of what it was. Also, want to point out, we've got something new in the store, which I just thought was hilarious. So if you go over to the store right now, there's a For You tab. All right. And what do you know? Oh, well, as my controller keeps disconnecting. And what do you know? The most expensive pack in the store is in here. I haven't really bought packs at all, especially with points, not money. But what I found hilarious about this For You tab is that it literally does not include the free pack for the daily collectibles, which is just mind-boggling to me. It's like, here are some expensive packs that we think you might like, but the free one that can give you content for free, nah, you're gonna have to go digging for that. That one is still in the Hut 2000s event, so I thought that was funny. Anyways, let's get back into the question. So at 9:45, Sleeve's 100% correct. I used to work in the video games industry, and you can never change mechanics after you've made your customers learn them. Even worse when it's a rather short time frame. This is becoming one of the biggest issues with this content team. I think that when it comes to like I hate the cards or I hate the format, all of that, that can be subjective, right? And something I've said about the content team over the last 2 years now, or a year and a half, is that at least they're trying new things. But it has gotten to the point where they're trying to almost undo everything that the prior content teams over the last decade have slowly learned and developed because of the structure of which they could release content. It was like maximized because the tech they had was just awful. And they made a lot of strides in terms of the tech they have now to deliver content, like whether it be the XP path, things like that. And the example I gave was, you can't, when a game involves money, like Ultimate Team, or immense amount of time, Ultimate Team, you can't just change the formats of them, because what I learned during the whole AP thing in NHL 22, if anyone that wasn't around for that, I got a lot of smoke for that because I was giving my opinions on how to change or what a balanced abilities would be. And EA made those changes, and I didn't have any control over that, but EA made changes. And then I didn't think, and I learned real hard when the community came after me hard, was that, we spent half a year making our teams, and now you've changed the cost of AP's abilities, certain abilities, and now our entire team is completely different because we can't have all the abilities that we used on these cards. And I learned a lot from that, legitimately. Like, I understood now. You don't hear a lot from the casual player base until something really negative happens, because that forces the player that doesn't go on YouTube or Reddit or the forums or Facebook groups, any of that, until something drastic has happened, to be like, yo, what is this, right? And I gave an example earlier about like Team of the Week, right? We were getting Team of the Week collectibles, then they just got rid of them and they just turned it into something different. And now we've got to learn how to do that. And then every event has been slightly different too. And it's like, we can't figure out what they're trying to do every event. And while, you want some change and differences throughout, it's something that you would do at the beginning of the year to set up a foundation and what you're going to do for the year, and not example, but I can't think of the right word. But you're setting up what it should be, and then you have an understanding, and you can go forward from there. So If I don't want to make an MSP this week, what should I do with my Hut 2000s collectibles? Because most likely this will be the last time 86s are usable for the MSP set, but I'm not sure if I should do 84 plus or the 83, the 4 times 83 plus. So I'm going to do a bigger video on this, kind of going over how to prepare for Team of the Year, because while I hate preparing for Team of the Year, it is literally, again, guys, let me know in the comment section if you like Team of the Year. But it's honestly, the event has made. I play the game year round, obviously, right? And just from a content creator standpoint, the Team of the Year is so. It doesn't ruin the game, but it isn't good in the sense that everyone just holds on to everything because you know this event is coming. And then what happens is you blow your entire collection on these 6 cards or as many as you can get. And then when they don't upgrade, you can't take them out of your lineup because you spent 1 million on coins in value on them. B, if they don't upgrade, you're super upset. So every content day, you're like, I don't care what came out. Did my card upgrade? And, a lot of the times it doesn't. The content team has shown that they don't upgrade cards regularly. They do it randomly, it seems. Heiskin in last year was a Team of the Year card, didn't even get 99. Matthew Tkachuk literally won the Stanley Cup, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't a 99 until after that. Like, it's just, it's never something to rely on, and then it just kind of ruins the rest of the content. Like, you don't want to take part in any events. Like, this Hut 2000 event is the most overlooked event, and the Gallery of Greats event helped with that because of the free AP out of nowhere. But nonetheless, like, what I'm doing for this event specifically is I'm doing the 4x83 plus. And the reason is because maybe you get to pull something. My guess, I have no idea what they are going to do. And any content creator that says they do, they're just guessing. My thought would be that they will do every overall allows you a different value of trade-in. So, for example, it'll be like 87 and above gives, I don't know, 8 collectibles. I'm just using it as an example, right? And then like 2 86s give 4 or something like that, and 85, 84, 83, and they each have an individual one. If it's like what it is now, where it's like 82s turn into 84s, 84s turn into 86s, 86s are used. If they go that route, they obliterate like half of the value of cards that they use as currency. So I really hope they don't go that route, and I'm just hoping that they don't. So what I'm doing is the 4x83s, because if you pull something higher than an 83, awesome. If you didn't, you have 483 overall cards that you can use as a trade-in. That's the route I'm going. If you want to be super safe, do the 30 collectibles for an 86 overall and tradable. Do that as many times as you can. But I'm going to go the 40 for 483s because you might pull something out of there. That might be the wet route to go. T-Man says, I'm happy that more people are standing up for the casual players. I've been saying this for years, like when I first subbed Sleeves. Everybody was against the casual players that just prefer to play squad battles. Thank you for stepping up. Here's the thing I want to talk about with the XP path. All the talks should be the same for everyone. Or I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. But every 10th tier, you get an ultimate pack where you can pull some good cards. But everyone gets the same packs. In my opinion, Rivals should be the same packs as everyone else. Same XP points, same everything. But if you win 10 games or the top 100, you get a special card. And that brings me back to every card should be tradable. Also, the auction house needs to have price limits. Paying 800K for an 88 overalls out of hand. Make the game fun for everyone. Thank you. Keep your stick on this. Yeah, I mean, like, there's ways that they need to iron out the XP path. I 100% agree. I said this in my video that I think they marginally improved Season 3's XP path over Season 2, and it was simply because of the 83 choice pack. That's what I think is the only part that's better. They're giving us a ton of collectibles, but I will say, amongst all of the drama that was happening about how they nerfed Squad Battles XP, the argument was that online players, are better and they don't care about offline. The issue wasn't that Squad Battles was offering 2,000 XP. It was that if you play online, that should be the most rewarding because it is the most difficult. No matter what division you're in, it's a time commitment. Like, I use this as an example. If you're doing squad battles on Superstar, you can legitimately pause it, come back hours later, and finish it off, right? If you sit down and play Rivals and you want to win a Rivals game, you have to sit there for 20 minutes or get a quit out, right? Like, there's no ability to pause and things like that. So you have to take that into account. I don't know if it's the one thing I will say is that they made Rivals, the boost in XP, good. They just shouldn't have touched squad battles. I used that example in my prior video from Pirate Software. Thor talked about this. If you want to fix the meta, you don't nerf the shit out of something that is the meta gun and raise something else up, that creates a cycle of just new meta and new things. You take the thing that is good and you raise everything else up with it. So if squad battles was the best way to get XP at 2000 XP per squad battles game, make rivals worth it. And now they did. They went back and fixed it, and they realized their mistakes. And now they've got to. I will stand by this, that the XP path is the best addition to NHL. And when they finally figure it out and they get away from the monotony of doing chores and they put all of the rewards in the XP path, or the objective paths are XP based, that is when we'll have the best content, because it truly is play the way you want when it's XP based, right? So if I want to earn an MSP, and instead of scoring 45 goals with that event player, it's like get 1,000 XP with those types of cards. And you can do that in Rivals. There's a multiplier in there's a multiplier in Rivals for the better division in Rivals you play. So if you score 1 goal, it might be worth 5 offline, right? That's where we should be trying to get to, and that would make it far better. Offline player here. I completely agree with your thought process and also your approach to your channel as a whole. I appreciate you not being the guy who posts 15-minute rage videos about new releases, and also you letting things play out a bit before posting ranking videos on new MSPs. Creates much more overall value to people watching your videos, and hopefully people within this community understand that. Been following your stuff for a long time. Just want to drop some love. I appreciate that, man. I talked about, again, this in the last episode, that I've learned that, again, there's people out there that don't care about the drama, right? And they just want to know what was released, and they don't want to just hear my opinion about it. Obviously, they want you sprinkle it in, and people do come to my channel for my opinion on some things, but it shouldn't just be if I hate something, it doesn't mean everyone does. And again, that's just me being a content creator for 7 years in the space now and understanding that like there's far more opinions out there than just mine. Yeah, and like rankings and things like that, I've been really careful with that, because the major problem about when I went free to play. So 2 years ago, I stopped spending money in NHL. The thing that used to be my thing was I would literally on day one drop $1,000. It was my business. It made sense. I would have the best team, and I would use all of the best cards. And then I could use clips, and I would say, hey, this card is really good. This is all, these are the cards that I would use, right? And the problem is when it became no money spent, I don't have access to all of the best cards, but everyone still wants to know the ranking of I don't have if someone sits down and they're a casual player and they don't know who to choose between and they earn a free card, and they don't have any affiliation to the teams and players that are released, they're like, who should I take to help my team improve the most, right? And sometimes I can't try out every card. But what I do, guys, when I do a rankings video, I literally go on my Discord and I ask. My Discord is 4,000 people that are addicted to Hutton there. I look on Reddit. I look on all sorts of places, on Facebook even. Facebook in low-key is where the most amount of casual players still talk about the game. It's crazy. It is a cesspool of toxicity. But, there are some opinions, and I'm everywhere looking at those opinions because I think it's important. So I appreciate the comment, man, and a little bit of insight into how I make my videos. I'm glad MLB The Show was free at the end of the summer. I didn't realize how good Diamond Dynasty was. I would likely pre-order and start grinding from the beginning because EA seems to get it wrong more times than right. Disappointing because my offline chores gave me a solid squad 88 rating, and I have a vintage icon pack. So MLB is one game where even if you don't like the sport of baseball, you will probably enjoy grinding. Like if you find yourself, guys, you enjoy building your team, but then when you go to play online or you play squad battles, you get pretty bored, and then there's a ton of you out there, then it's probably that you just enjoy the team building aspect of it. If you are one of those people, I beg you to try MLB this year because it is by far the best game in terms of the XP things I was talking about. That's how MLB works. You earn XP with specific cards and players, and it's by far the best tech for that. There's a lot of issues with MLB, but the one thing that they do is they react quickly year over year. So I'm excited for MLB. I would love to get to a point where my channel is 50-50. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but if I want to hit 100,000, I probably need to. If you go and look at my most watched videos every single year, they're all MLB videos, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. As a first-time commenter on your video, but long-time listener since 2018, Sleeves, I appreciate the strides this game has made as a result of your input and the value you bring to the community. As someone who has limited time to play the game with a full-time job, I really appreciate your informative content. I look forward to watching each day. I believe I speak for many others. Please don't let the haters get to you. We appreciate you. like I said, man, I have an understanding now of my community. I've been doing it for a long time. I know a majority of my audience are 30 plus. I can literally see the demographics in and not just on my Twitch streams, but on YouTube. And I think that a lot of the player base in the NHL video game, you'd be stunned, is 25 to 40. I truthfully believe that. And the one part about like my journey to becoming a full-time content creator is that I spent 15 years working like in a corporate job and doing all sorts of jobs that I couldn't stand and things like that. So I understand that like when you're at work and you want to pass the time by, that's how I got started. I literally found Twitch because I was at work and I started watching Destiny streamers when Destiny 1 was a thing in 2014. So I understand that, like, and you have limited time when you come home. You don't want to like, you got to put your kids to bed and then you got like an hour and a half, right? But you don't want to waste time doing that. So I try and give you the ways to save time, right? Like that's usually what I strive for, man. As a master's student, I wouldn't be able to play the game a lot during last season because of exams. I was able to complete the last XP path because I could do all the weekly objectives in the last week when exams finished. They need to get rid of the timer. Dude, I could not believe the creators and the player base were overlooking that. Everyone was so horned up for the XP on the squad battles and the separation of having to play squad battles and rivals, but no one was talking about that weekly XP timer. I'm glad they fixed that. That was one of the biggest. I think it was because people were able to in season 2 save their last week's XP and then cash it in afterwards, and they ended up jumping like 30 tiers. Like I know Thrash was able to because he was smart enough to save it. I didn't, like an idiot, and I think that's why they did it. They didn't want that to happen again. But I think this timer that lasts the whole time is a perfect solve for that. So. Misery Lives Company, man, good on you for staying professional and just simply articulating your own opinion. I don't think a lot of people in the community, all gaming communities, realize that developers were allowed to listen to suggestions or alternatives instead of just screams online. Guys, anytime that you have a complaint with a game and you want to and you go somewhere and you just say, this game sucks, I hate it, it's trash, but then don't give any other feedback, that's just therapy. You're just downloading your day, and sometimes you need to do that, but I promise you that a lot of the developers will actually look on Reddit and content and forum or replies and things like that. If you have a problem with the game, always come back with this is why I would fix it, or this is what I would do differently, and that's how you inspire some change, honestly. A-Slaves, I'm so glad there is a 3 XP for set 575 plus. This will help me get my chase to charge McDavid. What are some other ways to get 75 pluses? I've done all the team building moments. I'm halfway through my 4th captain. Also, keep the good content. Yeah, I finally got him, sold my whole collection. Bro, they added in the 2000s event set, there's also a 5x75, I believe, in there too. You could have done that, but A-Slaves, great content. I've been following you for several years now. You have evolved into one of the best game influencers. I appreciate that. Again, guys, you guys humble me. I appreciate it, but really enjoy your stuff. This video speaks volume of the poor decision making on EA's part. I'm an offline player and have been one since the beginning of NHL series way back in the early 90s. I've seen this franchise evolve since the beginning, and there's been a lot of great positives come over time. At the end of the day, as you said yourself, they are a business that needs to make profit. The unfortunate thing that gets lost in all this, though, is the gaming community suffers the consequences of that profit. I'm willing to grind out games, but we should be rewarded for that. I personally just want to sit down, play the game how I choose, and not be bullied into buying packs with real money. Like most gamers, I'm sure we don't have disposable income to dump or gamble away essentially hundreds of dollars into a video game, which should be a fun way to spend some time. Unfortunately, this new season was hard to swallow as an offline player, and it makes it tough to keep going and hot. Like I said, man, this sentiment was so loud. I was streaming when they did the Friday new event, and the tweet came out basically saying, we're sorry, we made a mistake. And given the vibes of the content team, it feels like there is a lot of bravado, and it's a lot of just undoing what the prior content team did. It really feels like that. And I could be way off, and they won't talk to me, and I don't blame them. I've been very critical of them, and if I was in their position where I was getting paid to do a job and there was someone basically saying, I don't think you're doing your job well, I wouldn't want to talk to them either, because they don't owe me anything. They truthfully don't. I'm not an EA employee, opposed to what everyone thinks online. I don't get paid by EA, so they don't need to listen to my opinion. And I when they did that kind of, hey, we're sorry, we're doing everything, that was loud. Man, I don't think people realize how big of a thing that is, because that means that, like, they got told, fix this now. And that was all because of you guys. So what I would hope is that they don't need to keep doing this, and they start just coming up with plans and ideas that they don't have to walk back. That's like the biggest thing, man. It just feels like a lack of planning, but regardless. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's content. I today's video. I won't be around on Tuesday and Wednesday for content. I'm going away with my wife for a little while, but I will have another Who Should You Choose video out. I'm also going to do a how to prepare for Team of the Year video. Just kind of going over all the sets and packs and things that I would recommend going after, because I know that's going to be a really hot button topic over the next couple weeks. But thank you guys again for watching. Again, thank you for all the kind words, and I will see you guys next time.